All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay, let's see here. Haha, man. Already jumping in. Super, super dope. What's up, Dave? Dan, Charlie, we're doing this. We are doing this. Let me make sure my audio is all good. You guys could hear me, can't see everything okay. And I'm using my testing right here. Let me see. Once this is good to go and I see we're straight, we're going to dive right in. Super, super dope. What's up, Dave? Oh, you know what? Ooh, hold on one second. I forgot to do something. All right, guys. So there was some crackling. I was meaning to do this beforehand. What is it? It's the sound. There's a setting here. Snap. I should have done that before. Okay, that's not it. All right, everyone, bear with me for just a moment. You know what? Let's just kick it off. All right, sound is good. You know what? I made a mistake. Oh, man, it was on my list. I had so many things on my list. I need to change like the frequency from like 48 to like 41 point something. There's a little bit of crackling happening inside the recordings. Oh man, I wish I saved this. So everybody watching this, or if you're watching this later in the future after the live stream, you hear crackling, my bad. I am super sorry. I'm going to make sure that it is fixed next time. I figured out what the issue was, but just had so many things on my list because I'm ready to get into this and start designing. What's up? What's going on? Oh, it's so good to see you all. What's going on, Pez? So good to see you. All right. Plarat, all right. Hey, this is super dope. I'm so excited to see everybody here, man. You guys keep me hyped for real. Like, I've been looking forward to this all day long. All right. All right. Got to get in the zone because this is where we start to have fun tonight. All right. We're going to be putting together everything we did in the last two live streams. We're going to be putting it together and we're going to be rebuilding this homepage. We're going to be fixing the structure, the layout, and then we're going to be applying the design system and styles. After we finish with this, Charlie is going to be good to go to apply that to the rest of his site. I'm going to be going through this in a step-by-step process. I'm going to keep it open. I want to keep an eye on, let me make sure. Okay, we're good right here, right? I did not get a moderator. Okay, I think we are. Do you know what I'm gonna do right here? Let me, because I just want to make sure we're good. I want to be able to see it, so I'm gonna put it on my phone. Keep this up here, but turn the volume off. All right, cool. So I can keep an eye on it right there. All right, getting back to it. We're going to be putting all that stuff together. Now, I'm going to be breaking it down and showing the whole process of doing it. And the whole thing is about using process and the system when we are designing. And this is something that is a real world experience when we are doing things for clients' websites or even for our own. So everything that is used here could be applied to your own sites and so on. All right, so let me check it out. Okay, Mia says, do you know what? Wait, that's not it. Wait, that's not supposed to happen. Hey, okay. I gotta turn my Bluetooth off. It's connecting to my phone. Let me turn that off. All right, that way. All right. Just bear with me real quick. This way we're all set up and we'll be good to go. All right, we should be good to go. Do you and Mia, okay. You got a high grade OCD. You're seeing it right now happen with me. Everything happening is OCD. Here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's like having a little bit of OCD in design could be useful if you know how to use it and you know how to avoid some of the pitfalls. But being able to use it and look at those little tiny details, and this is a whole part of building a system. A system is perfect for those of us with some OCD or those of us who just want to develop those good, good practices, but having everything just structured. And that's the reason why at the very beginning, it takes a lot more time building that. But when you do build it, it makes the rest of it really smooth. And by the time we get to the end of tonight's live stream, that's going to make a whole lot more sense. I'm excited. We're going to dive right in. And no puns intended, even though this is for a scuba diving website. I guess it was a pun intended. You guys ready? Pablo, it's okay. We're going to have it on. Definitely, we're going to have this recorded. I'm just glad that you checked in, man. Awesome. All right, cool. Are you guys ready? I need a thumbs up. I want to hear somebody's ready to go ahead and get started with this because once we get going, I'm getting in the zone. And once I get in the zone, I just go all in. All right, I got a lot of things happening right here. Spent quite some time preparing because I wanted to make sure we have all this stuff together, but we're going in, we're designing, we're going through the process. All right. I know Charlie's ready. Am I still live? Judy, what's up, Judy? Sorry, guys. I'm going to need to keep drinking. I feel super dry. I got my chaga tea. I love healthy stuff. I brew my own chaga. I got some water. I need it at nighttime, especially when I do these. Charlie's ready. Daveden's ready. Mia wants a recap. Okay, we're going to start off. We're going to do a very quick recap. But then after the recap, it's going to be best for everybody to jump to the first one, then the second one, and then you'll be caught up to speed for sure. But for all those joining for the first time right here, you know what? We're doing this. Let's roll. I am going to start the screen share now. All right. And I did figure this out. So I'm going to put me right over here inside this corner, and we're going to dive right in. We're diving into a scuba diving website. So Charlie was just brave enough to throw his site out there for the tear down and build up. And really, the goal of this isn't to tear apart a website, not at all. That's not what we're looking for. What we're doing here is looking for opportunities and what we could do to improve. And that's what we did inside the first session. We looked at the site, we looked at the areas we could improve. And I mean, we saw some inside the design, but in other areas as well. And I identified 3 key problems. And one of them was a bit of a lack of a human connection. So there's a lot of content. There wasn't that much human connection. This is the site that we got right here. We're rebuilding. So there was that. There was also like lack of trust. We didn't have any testimonials, trust badges. We didn't have anything in here to show the credibility that Charlie does have. Like, they have credibility. And we want to be able to show that. And then the next one was going to be just the overall design and just being able to have a clear brand to it, a clear design, and making things a whole lot cleaner, easier to use. And all that is going to result in more conversions, in a better user experience, and so on. So in the very first live stream that we did a couple weeks ago, we broke all that down. And we looked at the little tiny stuff. You know, we did look at the design, the inconsistencies. We looked at what to look for, like alignments, grids, things like that. Now, inside the last live stream, which is last week, we looked at starting to put together the brand styles and putting together a brand system. Now, first thing we did was here, this is the actual live site. And I'm doing all of this off of a clone that I have on my local. We're not going to touch the live site at all, because what we're doing is we're removing a lot of stuff. One of the first things we did was we removed, let me close this tab right here. We removed all of the global fonts, the global colors. We re-added the fonts because there's just a lot going on back here. We want to make it more clean and systematic. We cleaned up the global colors, think there was about, there's quite a few of them before. And then we started putting together our brand styles, which is going to be used for the design system. Now, this took a lot more time than I was planning because we did run into a few things, and this happens. There's always unforeseens. We ran into a few things that took more time to dig in, diagnose, and fix. So what I did was, for the sake of not having another 3-hour live stream or something, super long, was I went ahead and cleaned up the brand style, the design system right here. And this is going to be our starter for the design system. And this is where we're at right now. So first thing we did was I cleaned up the color scheme. And inside the color scheme, we limited the amount of colors. We don't want too many colors. If we go over to the live site, we're going to see we got like the WhatsApp green. We're going to have like some red right here. The colors changed quite a bit. Even things also like, font colors, we don't want it too black, things like that. So what I did was we first cleaned up the font styles, the colors. Oops, let me go back here. And then we did, the next thing was the fonts. So we did encounter a problem with the fonts when we first started. They weren't loading right. And so what I did was I deleted all the font files. We cleaned it all up, removed all the global fonts. Also had to go in and clear up the typography. Now, this is super important. This is where I found a lot of issues. And this is where it gets really confusing using Elementor and trying to make a clean design and trying to do something where we're using consistency and following a design system. And that is, we got a section right here for design system. Then we got one right here for theme style. And this is where I feel many of you are going to be confused. I mean, I was confused by this for a while. But here's the thing. If we try to set this up like our global fonts, our global colors, and then if we try to do the same to our typography here, our button styles, and so on, especially the typography, this is the big issue. If we try to set this up here, it conflicts with our design system. It doesn't really fit. In fact, this way is more of an old and outdated way that this is just from what I remember. This was usually a setting in themes like from years and years ago, just like pretty much part of like a default WordPress theme where we style things by H tags. And we don't ever want to style things by H tags because the H tags don't have anything to do with the font style. These are all about content and about positioning your titles and the hierarchy and so on. So we are only going to utilize these right here, the global fonts and global colors. Now we set that up. The next thing I did right here, if we look on the right, let me turn this off. And I'm going to keep looking at the chat. So I got my chat right here. If something happens, I go blank or you can't hear me, just give me a heads up. I'll see it right here because I'm keeping an eye on everything. And then any questions as we go along as well, please ask. That's the reason why we're doing this. We're doing this live to give the chance to ask questions. And the more questions, the better. That way you can understand more about the thought process behind everything, why the decisions are made to do the things that I'm doing here. All right, next up on the right, you're going to see that I define the spacing of the text. Now, the most important thing is we want to achieve consistency. We want to make sure that everything here, that all of our spacing for all titles to paragraphs are the same. We want to make sure if we have one paragraph here and one paragraph here, that this spacing is the same across the entire site. We set it up once, and that's what we want to keep. And then we also want to make sure that when we have, say, where is it at? Where's a good example? Okay, there really isn't a good example here, but if we go here, like we're going to see, like usually we'll see like a title, a paragraph, and then maybe like a call to action button or like a card or some kind of other element. We're going to want more spacing around that because let's say we do have a button here, and let me drop one just to better show and give an idea. I'm going to copy this button here. And then I'm going to drop it in here, paste that. we want to have more spacing from the paragraph or the text in the button because it gives more breathing room around that call to action and makes it easier for the user to identify. It makes it easier for them to use, and it makes it stand out more. So what we did here was we identified 20 pixels padding on the bottom here, 20 pixels padding on the bottom from the title to the text, 20 pixels the same. We're going to keep it consistent padding bottom from paragraph to paragraph. And then we're going to have 40 pixels padding bottom from the text to whatever other element there is other than text. So we're going to keep that consistent across the board. Now, you might be wondering, why are we doing paragraph bottom? There's actually two things right here you might be wondering. So first off, why padding? All right. I try not to use margins that much except where absolutely needed. Padding is for spacing. Margins is for pushing things around. I really don't want to push things around except in certain situations. So I mostly stick with padding. Now, the reason why I'm sticking with padding in the bottom, this is just my own system. Like for you, you might want to have padding on the top. You might want to have, you might want to choose something different. But the goal here is to choose it, define it, and then stick with it. And then once it's defined, you carry that over through the rest of the site. For me, I have used the system so many times over and over and over that it becomes second nature. It makes me go faster. And that's the whole thing. It takes time to put all this together. But at the end, you become much faster because it becomes like second nature. You're going to see when I start adding stuff inside the front end, when we start doing the homepage, how I could just fly with it. Everything is going to be automatic. Now, there is one other option as well. You could always use flex. You could use the gap. So let me just go ahead and duplicate this. And this is totally fine as well. It's totally up to you and your call. Let's say I do want 20 pixels and I could carry that same system, but I don't want to use like padding or anything. And this is just an example. And this is for you to choose what you want. And that's the fun part about this. It's like we get to build our own systems, and that's what we do. That's what we work with, and we could choose what works best for us. Now, when I build a system, I stick with it, and then I look for ways to improve it. All right, so like right here, if I want 20, 20, 20, I could just go over to my gap in my container and just put 20, and bam, I got 20. Now, if I'm going to use this right here, this is going to work great. It's going to save me a lot of time. I just need to remember that I need to add, maybe I need to change my rule right here to 20 pixels on the bottom. That way I still have the 40 pixels. And I hope you see where I'm going with this and why I'm using like 20 and I'm using these kind of numbers, because we got to do the math on all this stuff. When we do things and we set it and we get the system, we want it to be mathematical. So we know like if we need to offset it, and that's going to make sense again more when we look at our containers. But this is just another option. For me, I'm sticking with my system that I've been using. Another benefit of using a system like this is if you are going to be bringing in somebody, maybe you're starting to grow, you're getting a lot of projects for your clients. You want to bring on a contractor, another freelancer. You want to, hire them to take on a project and to help you out. You could have this system for them, walk them through them, teach them how to use it, leave them the guide so that way they follow that guide and follow up on them and make sure they're following your system. Because the thing is, and especially with Elementor, it's so easy to mess things up big time and make a big old jumble mess, because I could create the same layout 100 different ways. All right, but when you have things just going randomly all over the place, you got another team, another freelancer, somebody you hire for a project, they're doing their own thing. Oh, I lost my speaker. I hope that's, I don't need a speaker. You guys can hear me all right, right? Yeah, and we get somebody else in there, well, they start doing their own thing, then the whole thing's broken. But if you could get somebody to follow your system, it's much more scalable and manageable, and you could guide that contractor and freelancer to deliver the results that you want delivered. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and move on and keep going. What happened right here? So, okay, looks like just a bug right there. Probably when I refresh it, it'll go back. Let me delete this, because I want to keep, in fact, let me update this and make sure this box gets fixed. My OCD is going to kick in. I got mad OCD when it comes to design and making sure everything is detailed. Okay, cool. We're here. It's good. Next up, now this one right here is going to save you so much time, and it's going to have such a huge impact. And it's something so simple to do. And this is defining your containers. You can do the same thing with sections, but I'm all in containers already. So right here, basically what we're doing is we got a few different container sizes. We got 3. Sometimes I might use 4, but I never use more than that. I stick with them. And you're going to see something about these right here. Now, if I go to, let's say, this large container, it's only going to apply to the outer container. We're not doing this in the inner. It's just the outer, whatever is wrapping up everything. It's going to be your container wrapping up the sections. And right here, I'm going to use 80. Oops, I got to fix that. Actually, you see, it was wrong. It's supposed to be 100. All right. So it's going to be 100 top, bottom, 20 left and right. This next one right here, okay, this is supposed to be 80. Uh-oh, something went wrong. Oh, yeah, I was doing some copy and pasting. All right, this is 80 and 20, and then this is 60 and 20. Let's see over here. Now, the most important thing about this, make sure whatever you choose. Now, if you're using percentages, you're using rem, that's fine. If you're using pixel, I mean, I'm not, this isn't about which one is the best. The best thing to do is just to pick and define them from the very beginning. If you're using percentage or rem, that's great. Just go ahead and define it. We want to make sure, though, that these numbers are something that is easily mathematically figured out. For example, let's say like right here, I got 2 sections stacked on top of each other. All right, I'm going to make this section now, both of them the same background color. All right, let's go here. I'm going to turn this background also to the same one. Now, right here, I'm using the 80 pixel. I'm using the medium. And if we go here, I got the 80 top and bottom. And then here, I got the 80 top and bottom. But the problem with this is, for us in Elementor, looking at the section and the yellow and the pink box around it, we see 2 sections. In the front end, that's not what we see. What we're going to see is 160 pixel gap. So we need to offset this. So in this case, what I would do here to fix that is go ahead and just use the math on it and make sure it equals 80. I usually do it just 50% off, 50% off. Makes it a lot easier. So let me go ahead and fix this back. And this is how they work. Now, the next thing is we've already fixed this inside the last one, which is our container width. We're doing ours at 1280. I usually stick with 1280, but also 1366 is another good number to go with. Thing is, okay, this is a 12 column grid. This is a system that I use when I'm like designing in Figma and stuff like that. So if this is 12 columns, you're dividing that by 12, each column by 12. Well, the next container, which is going to be our smaller one, which we need sometimes in parts of the layout. There are some parts in the design where maybe we want to have like a form. We want to have something in the middle of the page, but we don't want that to stretch all the way out. So what I use here is the 8 column. And just by doing the math, I came up with 846 pixels. So we're only going to stick with these 2 widths. Either it's going to be 1280, 846. So you would define yours as well. And now all of them, no matter what, they all either have 20, they all have 20 pixels on the right and left. I set that up from the very beginning because what that does is it makes sure that, let's go ahead and go to mobile, and make sure we have a clean line all the way down the website. Our alignment is going to be perfect this way. And I found that with mobile, either 20 or 24 works the best. So my suggestion would be to define it and choose either 20 or 24 pixels. I wouldn't use percentages on something like this. Only use rem if you know what you are doing. 20 pixels, though, is going to make sure that your alignments are going to be perfect across the entire site. This is going to solve a really huge issue that many sites have. Next thing up, we are going to define the card spacing because we're going to use a lot of cards. The first thing, I have gaps. So every card has a gap right here in between. We want to keep those the same. If we go back over to the site right here, we're going to see, okay, Charlie fixed it. Okay, we did point it out inside the last one. In fact, let me see here. Let me try to go to home. See, Charlie's good, man. He's on top of it. I saw the back end of the site when I got in. Usually the back end is messy, but I could tell he learns and he applies stuff as he learns. And this was something that we, found on the original one. You can see we got this huge gap right here, horizontally, and then vertically, we got this small gap. And then if we look at like this block section, we got this massive gap right over here. So what we want to do is we want to define our gaps and make sure we have consistent blocks across the board. Now, for me, I would choose 1 or 2. It's not bad to have 2, but I wouldn't do any more than that. In fact, the less, the better. And here's the thing, when we are putting a system like this together, the more you are adding to it, the more chances you have of the design falling off, of it getting messy, of it getting hard to manage. And when a design is off, and it's off, like something feels wrong, but you can't put your finger on it. And you're stuck and you're looking at your website. And I'm like, it's just not good enough. What's wrong? A lot of the times it's just those inconsistencies. All right, so we define our gaps and then we define our cards as well. And look here's a card. First off, the card is following the system I set here inside my text, right here. I already said it. So right here, I got 20 pixels bottom, and then right here, I got 40 pixels bottom. So these are set. For the system, I defined it for, this is the card spacing. This would go like on the inner container that's wrapping up everything inside the card. And that would be 40 pixels top, bottom, 24 right and left. Choose your own. It's totally up to you. But just select one and just kind of stick with that right there. And then I select my border radius. Now, border radius, I want to keep consistent across the site. I don't want to have some boxes with like 2, some with 0, and some with 20 or something. I mean, we want to keep all of the boxes the same. So select yours. Next up are going to be the buttons. The buttons, you don't want too many different buttons. If you're using round, squared, if you're using all these different colors, if you're using too many of them, it makes it difficult for the user to really understand where they're supposed to go. It makes it hard for that user experience. We want to make the buttons clear. We want to have our peacock button, the one that is our main call to action, taking people to our primary funnel, but we also want secondary ones, and then even a third one like I got here. This will be like a read more. This is just additional information. Like this one would be a primary button going around everywhere. And then these would be like peacock buttons. Now, I built all these here and we set it up and we're going to get started in the front end. But as we're building the front end and on the home page, we're going to be adjusting things inside here. This is our space for our system. And just because like I built it out here doesn't mean it's set. Not yet, not until we finish the home page. So say we are designing, we're going through the home page, and maybe these box radiuses are just too sharp. Maybe instead of doing 4, we want to do 8. Well, we could come here and we could change it around. But when we do make changes in the home page, we're going to fix it here. It's just like the fonts. let's say I do, add a paragraph here. Let's say, I make a card and I'm making this feature section here. I'm like, you know what? This text is kind of big. I think the body text is too big. I'm not going to come in here in the typography and change it here. That is where we break the system. What we need to do is we got to make sure it is linked to the body text. And when we do change, say, the colors for our globals or our fonts, we're going to come back over here in our site settings and we're going to adjust it here. So I can kind of already see that maybe the body text is maybe it's just a little bit too big. So I'm going to take this down to 1 rem right here. And let's go ahead and update it. Now it's looking okay. And look at, if at some point we're designing in the front and we feel like, yeah, we can make it a little bigger, we just adjust it in our globals. All right, cool. I am going to take a breather and I'm going to see if we got some questions. Let me go back over here, stop screen share. Hey, I'm getting pretty used to this Wave platform. I'm really digging it. All right. What's happening? Any questions here? Did I miss any questions? I'm going to go through really quick. I'm so glad to see you guys are all connecting over here. Andrew, so good to see you, man. So good to see you. Awesome. That's it. We're just having fun, just learning and geeking. I love this stuff. Like, I absolutely love it. Man, if I could just not sleep and just do this all the time, I would be so happy. Like, every night I go to sleep and I can't wait to have my coffee in the morning and I can't wait to get started. It's a challenge doing my morning routine, like my meditation, prayer, and exercise, because I just want to dive in, but I have to make sure I do those other things first. All right, David, you've been using the 1200 pixels. I mean, that's fine. That's all good. There's no here's the thing, there's no like absolute. There's nothing absolute. There's best practices and there's some things we should avoid. But there's also some things too that we could use, and then we just adjust as time goes when we find it, when we find opportunities. All right. All right. Well, okay. So Pez, now you got it at 1920. Yeah, that's kind of big. Do you know what? Actually, look at it's a whole style. I mean, it could work, especially for the design. When you're using the big screens and you're designing on there. Like, what I do is, like, I work on my desk and I have a 32-inch. But when I go to the coffee shop and I try to split up my time at home, at my desk, and also at a coffee shop on my laptop, because it gives me 2 different perspectives of the website and 2 different look and feels. And I think it's a good thing for anybody here to try to do both, try to balance between your desktop and your laptop, because it could give a lot of perspective and we can see how everything scales as well. And look at, even if you are opting in to go super wide with your outer container, if that is what you want to go for, as long as you're defining your containers and your spacings, that is the most important thing. Oh, okay. The default page is 1920, but the container width is at 1200. Okay. Ah, okay. Gotcha. All right. Are you using custom breakpoints as well? Do you do the other breakpoint for bigger text? All right. We're going to circle back to that. All right. Let's go ahead and keep going now. We're going to take the next step. And let me move me right over here. And let's go back over here. All right. So this is the live site right over here. We're going to go. Now, first off, let me open this up. It makes it a lot easier for me to do this when it's open. Let me pull that. Okay. So when I'm building, I like to keep my brand styles page with my design system open. I like to keep it here. And this is a fancy way of doing it. And look, at when you're doing it like this as well, it shows a lot to the client. You don't have to do this always. All right. Here's the thing. I'm doing it like this because it's a lot easier for people to see. It's easier for me in my design process. But I also do this. Here we go. Here is my new site that I am building right now. I do this just right here in Figma. And not only do I do it there, I also start off by doing it inside of a notebook as well. So if you want to go fast and you get fast at it, you don't always have to spend a lot of time right here. If you already have a system, you could use a notebook and write it in and define it. I like to create these pages though. It does show a lot more to clients, and it helps me out with my thinking process as well. All right, cool. No more procrastination. Let's dig in there. All right. Okay, let's do this. Now, I went through it, and a few things were happening in here as I was going through before. I saw this happening here. I saw the text, but I found out what it was. All right, and we're going to fix all that. I found out what it was, and it was just margins, negative margins being used. When we removed all the default styles that were in the theme styles and inside the font styles, well, that's how everything got all thrown off. It got like -10, 34, all that stuff. All right, we're going to do something, and Charlie, your heart's probably going to drop. In fact, your heart's going to drop a few times tonight. And don't worry, this is not the live site. I am just going to remove it all because it's going to make things a whole lot easier. In fact, let me go here. Delete that. I'm just going to use my navigator right here, and I'm going to delete all that. And let's go ahead and update this right here. All right, don't panic. We got everything still over here. All right, I can refresh it. Let's make sure that wasn't the live site. All right, it wasn't the live site. We're all good. All right, there's one other thing we're going to do. Your heart's probably going to drop again at this. I found something else as I was going through, and that was down here inside the templates. All right, there was 82 templates. I am going to delete all these, including the global widgets. They're throwing everything off. We're redefining the whole system, so having global widgets are just going to throw it all off. So I'm going to go all the way down here. I'm going to move it to the bin. All right, and then we're going to, it's weird. We can't do that right there. So we're going to trash all these. I need a clean environment when I am doing an update to a design. We don't have to rebuild the entire site. We don't have to all the time. In fact, this site right here, I wouldn't rebuild it all because there's a lot done in it for the SEO. There's a lot done in it for a lot of other good things, and I wouldn't want to take away from that. Plus, Charlie did a really good job in the back end, making sure everything is clean. It's not like full of plugins or anything like that. All right, let me go ahead and delete these permanently. I just want it to be cleaned up. All right. And that's going to help us out too, because as I was dropping things in, like I was dropping in some elements, they were doing some things I didn't want them to do. Okay, what do we got here? Ooh, okay, so these are the theme builder ones. All right, so when we're doing this is really important. I want to make sure that we only have like one single post if we're going to do blogs. I see a lot of pop-ups. I'm not going to touch those. Ooh, I do want to. Oh, that's going to mess things up if I do that. I'm not going to touch the default kicks. I'm going to have to regenerate it and stuff like that. All right, we got one footer. That's cool. We'll keep that one footer, one archive. We got a lot of pop-ups. We'll leave those pop-ups. I'm not going to touch those. We got one header. Cool. Single post, we got two. We're not going to touch the post right now. I'll leave that up to Charlie for later, but it looks like we are good to go. So now let's get started here on the home page. Do you know what I'm going to do is, first things first, I always start with the headers and the footers. Let's clean those up. And Let's go ahead and edit this with Elementor. Okay. Okay, cool. So we got this top bar. Okay, I'm so excited to get this top bar fixed up right here. Let me go ahead and delete this. In fact, I'm going to delete all of them. Just delete them. All right. First thing I'm going to do, go ahead and drop in the top bar. This is going to be for our promo bar. Now, right here, we're going to put in, let me see, 20 pixels right and left, just like what we defined. So I'm going to put 20 here. And then let's drop in some elements right here. I'm going to drop in, first off, all right, I don't know if you noticed this, and I mentioned this inside a post inside the Elementor group, but I don't use the text editor. I don't use this widget at all. I use the heading widget only. Now, the text editor, I mean, it's not that it's bad and it can't be used, but I found that sometimes it'll throw extra spacing in. Sometimes it throws extra BR. Sometimes it starts to throw in span tags. And when you copy and paste in there, say if you do it from a Google Doc, it could carry over some of the meta that's inside there. So I usually just use the header right here. You know, if I need to edit it, I just open this up. I just changed this to a P right here. Let's go ahead and grab this text. Oops. So I'm just going to grab this right here. And we'll write that in. And then we already got our font styles. So I'm going to make this, let's go ahead. I got the font blue right here. And then I got a tiny text. I'm going to use the small text right here. And then we are going to drop in a button. All right. Yes. I thought when we deleted the globals, that would stop. Okay. Let's go ahead and fix this up. Again, I'm going to use the tiny text because we're going to make a small button. Now, if we go back over to our brand styles, in fact, let's go quicker. I'm just going to copy and paste the style. I've already defined it right here. You know what? Let's go ahead and go here. And I already see an issue right here. So let's go ahead and paste the style. All right, so we got it. I want one small button and I want one big one, but I think this is still too small. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to change this from the button text to the tiny text. We're going to make this a small button. And then let me take this down to, let me try this to 4 and take this down to 12. You know, and another thing we could keep open as well, if you want to create a third one, like a medium size, we could always do that as well. But for right now, I'm just going to stick with this small one. Okay, now I could copy it. Let me update this. I'm going to go here, and now I could paste this style here. All right, and let's go ahead and flex this thing up. Go ahead and do that. Let's add a gap in between. I'm going to use our gap that we defined, 20. Let's center it up, and we are good. Now, there's a lot of spacing on the top and bottom. Let's reduce that. Oops. We want to keep the right and left. That's part of the system. That is super important. That never changes no matter what on the outer containers. I'm going to take this to 8. I stay with 4s. It's just part of my own system. And then for here, let's go ahead and give it a background color. We could give it this blue, make it stand out. And then I'm going to give it the off-white. And look at for the font, we're only using these 2 colors. This dark one right here, which we did change in the last video. We made it to like a black blue to fit the ocean theme. Or we're going to use this off-white, which is also in the blue range. All right. And what was this call to action that Charlie had here? More info. All right, let's go ahead and update that right there. All right, so as we're going through this, there's going to be a couple things we're not going to worry about. First, we're not going to worry about links. We're not going to worry about content. And we aren't going to worry about images. We're going to use fillers for all of it. We're going to focus on layout. And we're going to focus on the structure of the site and setting everything up and making sure if it's the design. After that's done, swapping out the images and content, that's like the easy part, right? That's the fun part because you can style it up, but it gets a lot more easy with that. All right, cool. Next up, let's create this. Let's create the banner right here. So we're going to put a call to action. Have a WhatsApp right here. There's too many call to actions up here. That was one of the things we identified. I mean, got the more info. This is like a promo, and we only want a promo. If we're not going to do a promo right here, I would put in the WhatsApp. I would put that in and choose one, or this is just too many. So we're not going to do that. Let's see here. What we're going to do is we're going to make a traditional banner right over here. All right, let's go ahead. And first thing I do always when I drop in the container, let's add in the style. So I'm just going to put 20. So that way we got our 20 right and left. We're good to go on that. We could adjust the top and bottom after. Let's go ahead and drop in the elements. I use images. You can use a logo. I personally like to use the image. And oh snap, we got 800 photos to skim through. All right. Let's see here. Oh, it's loading fast. Okay. This is why working on a local host is so good because it just goes super fast. And here we go. Looks like, is that it right there? But it's converted to WebP. How is that even going to look? No. Or is this it right here? Again, WebP. Ooh, trust badge. Dope. All right. See, there's so many. Like, this is a designer's dream right here. The images and the graphics and what we could do with this. Man. Okay. I am going to put that there. Let me go and turn this width to pixel. We're going to start off at 120. We don't want it giant. We don't want it big. 120 is a good size to start it. Let me go here. And all we're going to do is add the link, custom link, and put a /. Now it links home. All right. Next up, let's drop in our menu. All right. And it's the WordPress menu now, formerly the nav menu. Hope that didn't get too confusing for everyone. Okay, we got this here. Now let me see and fix up the typography. We already got our styles right here. So we're good. All right. And then we got our colors as well. You see text color. Let's go ahead and make it our dark. Hover, we're going to make it light blue. And then active, we're going to make it the ocean blue as well. Pointer color, let's go ahead and just keep it the same color as the text. We don't want to add all these different colors here because it can get difficult to use. We don't want to do that. All right, back over here, let's remove all of this, all these other underlines, make it more clean. I'm going to leave it on here, but I really don't like using Font Awesome. Usually I create my own, or I just use icon library, like I just download the SVG. But for right now, we want to go kind of quick. Okay, switch this to full width. Tablet, that's good. Center. We're not going to do mobile because that's going to take way too long. We're only going to be setting up for this. Now we got our mobile drop downs. Let's go down here. And we're going to keep the typography the same. And look at, here's the thing. If this feels too big, and right now to me it is feeling too big already for what we're looking at, we're going to fix all that in one location. All right. Text color, we're going to make it this color, the same. Hover, we'll do the same, ocean blue. Active, we'll do the same, ocean blue. Background color, let's go here to normal. We'll make the background off-white. Same thing here. I don't want to get too overly fancy with the drop down. I just want it to be easy to use. All right, cool. This is easy to use. And we could always do something else too. We could always do hover, let's say background blue and text color white. And then we can do the same thing to the active. White and background blue. All right, now this is easy to use right here. We'll fix up the typography in a moment. We don't need to touch any of that. All right, here is an issue right here. This is an issue within Elementor. In fact, there's two of them. I'm going to show you how to fix both of them. All right, first one, look at here. We got spacing right here on the left, but we didn't put in any padding. I didn't put in anything here. It doesn't fit my system. I'm going to control my spacing between my logo, call to action button, the menu. We're going to do that right here with our gaps because we defined the gaps in our design system. I'm going to put 20 pixels right there. So that is going to give it the spacing. But by default, Elementor throws in its own spacing for its nav menu. So if we go here, what we need to do is we need to put this at 0. We need to put that at 0. Put them both at 0. And then we're going to do the space in between. And I am going to set this to 40, giving enough space for each. Now we eliminated the space here and space here. We still got this bottom space. Something else is happening. I think there's some other globals going on here. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but if you do see your pink box having space, oh no, I know what it is. We need to center this. Bam, look at that. Now everything is centered. We could even do space in between. And even if we were to, let's say, bring this in, it's going to, the gap is going to prevent it from hitting that logo. All right, cool. Next up, let's drop a call to action button in there. In fact, I'm just going to go here because it's going to make things go a whole lot faster. Let me copy this, go over here, and paste that right there. So now we got our call to action right here, and I'm just going to do something like contact. We could fix all that stuff up later. All right. That is the header right there. So this is our starting header. I feel like we're good at this. If anything, what I would do here is I probably would tighten this up a little bit, maybe to 12 pixels, 12 pixels on the bottom. I'd play around with it. The other thing I would do is, let me go over here to my text, my site settings. I would go here to my global fonts. I feel the button text is just too big. I am going to change, I'm going to change it right here to 1 rem, which is going to be 16 pixels. That looks so much better now. And then it also took effect here on the button. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, we're good right here. All right, got to do mobile and stuff, but we're not going to go that deep into it. Let's build out the layout. Before we do that, though, we got to fix up this footer. Something weird is happening over here. I mean, I know what happened. We removed the styles, but we could clean this up really quick. All right, so let me get out of here and no, not here. All right, I thought everything would be done in an hour, but dang, we are already hitting an hour. Let me check in. All right, I want to see. Are you guys still here? No, this is not where we're at. We're right here. You guys still here? All right, let me actually do this. Bam. I'm getting the hang of this wave thing. Yeah, Andrew, I know, man. I put on some other live streams or some other tutorials where I'm working as well. It really does help out. I like it. It keeps me in the zone. And then I'm also learning as well. All right, cool, cool. Any questions coming up? David, definitely. He said this one looks like it needs happy files. I do know what? I didn't have time. I did want to add happy files to it. I just started using Happy Files Pro, and now after I use it, I cannot see myself building another website without it. It just makes everything so much cleaner and more organized. I love it, definitely. If you guys don't know Happy Files Pro, go check it out. It's a game changer for sure. All right, cool. All right. Hey, do you know what? Before we, you know what? Yeah, do not forget. I'm going to do it. All right, cool. I got to, because, all right. like I said, I'm not good at plugging stuff, but I do have the design course right here that is, it goes through all this stuff. It breaks it all down. But not only is it for like designing with Elementor, really this is a web design course and an Elementor course. Now, the only reason why, you know me, I don't really show this stuff. I do the live streams just because I want to geek out with everybody. But I do want to show it because I price this thing super low. All right. I price it low because I wanted it to be accessible for people in all different countries, no matter the economics in certain countries. And well, as a result, I underpriced it severely. And then I started doing parity pricing. So that way, for those of you that are inside certain regions of the world, certain countries where the economics are just a lot different, that way it could offset it and I could price it appropriately. So the reason why I'm saying all this is this Friday, since I do have the parity up, it is going to go up to the price that, you know, it should have been at. Right now it's 99. And if you are in another country, you could use this code right here. But I just want to put it out there because it is this week. I'm going to be putting it up quite a bit. Okay, cool. That's not me. I really am not a plug kind of guy. I want to design. Let's go ahead and do this now. All right. I'm going to jump over to the theme builder and I'm going to now fix up this footer. I saw a few things happening in the last live stream and we're going to fix this up really quick. And I think this is going to be a video that takes some time. Hope you guys are all right with that. I'm ready to go, man. I am ready. I'm in the zone. All right. I see that there was a lot of trial and errors happening here and being hidden. I want to clean it up because I do want it to stay clean. You know, I don't want Google reading this stuff. I don't want this stuff being in here. So I try to remove stuff, especially, my camera just died. Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Oh no. RIP camera. Okay. That's how long we're going. The battery died. Okay, it's charging. We're doing a live stream. We're doing a screen share anyway. So you're going to see a black circle. All right. That's supposed to be me. I will turn it back on in a moment. Let me just charge it up for a little while and we'll just do the screen share. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I do like this one. Okay. You made this one for mobile. I think this one looks really clean right here. Huh. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and open this up because I want to go kind of quickly. You know what? Delete it. Let's just go ahead and use our system right here. First off, let's go ahead and put, do you know what? We could put the text. Nah, we want to put the logo right here. And we can see, all right, we're already coming across some things, spacing happening inside here. Yeah, something weird is just happening across all this, and we have negative margins. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to delete it because it's going to make things a lot easier and faster. I'm going to drop in, let me drop in an image for the logo. And you know what? We are on, okay, we do have a container right here. So that's good. And we have these containers. All right, dope. So we got this. Let's go back down and get the logo out from the bottom of the list. All right, let's see here. Yeah, for sure. File manage Happy Files would have made that a whole lot easier. I'll put at full. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger this time. I'm going to put at 220. We want it to be visible. Now we have the spacing here. And is that because, okay, our flex controls, we got to control that. I'm going to go ahead and use the gap in between. Now, next up, let me go to the live site and I'll just take the information here, copy and paste it. And let me drop in a title. All right, I am going to duplicate that title. Now, right here, I'm going to turn this to, I'll turn it to a P. It's up to the SEO. We could go ahead and make it into a span or something. Let me set the styles. I am going to, I'll first set it this, but I might make this background dark eventually. Let me go ahead and, do you know what? Yeah, we'll leave it at the body text for now. And then we have the phone number right over here. Let me get the tel. Let me copy that right there. I'm going to go here, put that in. And then also I'm going to take this right here. Actually, I could put that right here, huh? You already made the link, so that's good. And I am going to change this to a span. Let's go ahead and give it a color. And I'm going to make this a little bit darker, easier to use. All right, cool. We're good right there. Let's go ahead and fix this up. So, all right, we have this giving a bunch of space. Let me go ahead and delete that. Let's fix these up right here. I don't want any margins at all on this. What's happening here? Is it aligned? It might not be aligned. Let me try to fix this here. Okay. Uh-oh, what happened to the text? Did I change the color on it? Okay, there we go. Let me fix our styles right here. We're going to give this a button right here so it's easy to use. All right, again, by default, Elementor adds all this here. We're going to put these at 0, and we're going to use a space in between. I'm going to put 20. And then what was the title on it? I could take that from the live site, design courses, or diving courses, design courses. You can see where my mind is at. Let's go ahead and, no, not that. Oh, snap, that's right. I'm going to put the heading up here. I can make this an H4. Let's go put dive courses. And now let me go ahead and set up everything. And we got, got the subheader. Would that work? Maybe the subheader will work. All right. And we're going to use our system right here. I'm going to put the 20 pixels bottom. So now we have that. And again, we could fix this up all together going forward. Okay. Let me copy this, delete this, and paste. All right. Delete this and paste. Let's go ahead and bring that up, And then let's just take these diving locations and popular blogs. All right. And then you guys can see most of the time I'm too lazy to type. I just want to go fast usually. All right. Popular blogs. Dope. Now, what we want to do when we see a situation like this, these words are breaking. So I'm going to want this word to break, but I'm not really going to use a breaking tag. Instead, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to control the width. And you're going to see me do this quite often with my text because I want to control the breaking, but I control it with the width using pixels. So I'm going to take that. Okay, where is the break at? I'm going to leave it at 200. I'm not going to leave it at 201 because that number is weird. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to round it up to a number that fits in my system. I'm going to take this, copy this, and paste the style. And then again, paste the style. All right. And we have all the spacing over here, which we shouldn't. So let's see what's happening over here. Okay, this is 30%. I don't know. Let's just make these even for right now. Oops. This will be 25, right? 25%. All right, I'm going to leave these even for right now. I'm not going to mess with it. Now, right here, we want to fix this because look at, for our containers, we're not going to be changing the width unless if we're using the shorter container. And then for up here, let's go ahead and fix this up. We need to add in the padding, the 20 left and right. And you know what? The 60 top or bottom actually works because, you know what? Look at this. Where is all this spacing coming from? We have tons of spacing here that we shouldn't. Oh, okay. What is this element? It is a menu. Let's delete that. Okay, let's go ahead and fix this up so everything is flushed. This right here, we're going to take this to, should go up to the top. Unless if they're, yep, there's spacing around here. Okay, we don't need any spacing in here. Instead, we're going to go here and control the spacing in our gaps. All right, and I'm going to give it a little bit more spacing on the top and bottom. Let me give it 80. Oops. And I want this to stand out a bit more, so we're going to make this dark right here. You know what? I'm going to make it, no, not that color, not yet. Watch and see what I do. All right, let's go white. We're going to go white right here. And then the same thing, I'm going to go text color white. But on the hover, I don't want to do that orange. That orange is going to be our peacock. We're going to do that very carefully. Okay, no active. Right here, let's take this to white as well. And let's fix this. We are going to take this to off white. And then on the hover, we're going to give it this sea breeze green. And then here, look at, they all broke. I'm going to now remove this because we changed the layout a bit. So let me go ahead and do that right there and fix these colors. In fact, I could just copy and paste this. All right, now if we wanted to move this over, we can. Like this, I could go ahead and put this to, let's say 28. I really don't like doing this too much, but we can give them more space if we want to do that and still maintain the 20 pixels right there. And then, oh, we need to get, I see why you did that. We need to get an SVG of that. But for this, now I'm going to turn this dark. Now it's really going to stand out. And this way too, if you want to put like company TNC, something a bit about the company, you could do that right down here. Or we could just go here, put 20. Put a background of, let's put a background of, the sea breeze is super dope. Okay, I could do something like, put this title here. We're going to change this to span, and we're going to put Thailand divers. We're going to put like, I don't know what year you started, Charlie, but you can put this to like 2012 to 2023. Go ahead and style this up. Fonts, color dark, and give it a tiny text. All right, there's spacing here. There shouldn't be any spacing. And then let's go ahead and tighten this up a bit. I'm going to put at 12. Oh no, I linked it. Oops. 20 and then top and bottom 12. You could do something like that. We could even tighten it up a bit more. Put an 8. And then you could also put like your terms and conditions right there. But here we go, you know, and then we could go in and fix it up. Right now, we're just getting up and going quickly to get a start. That is the main goal for this right here. All right, now we got the home page. And now with the home page, we're ready to go and start building this. And we're going to be carrying all these styles over. So we could go here now and start building out our banner. But we got these two. And I don't know if you guys could see it, but this menu right here, and if we go here, like already I feel that we are off to a good start. I think like this would be a good start, a good place to be. The next steps, we're going to have to do the structure before we even start building the pages. Let me see if my camera is working now and stop the screen share. All right, the camera is on. Yeah, that was, I think it just overheated, really. All right, let me see here. Are you guys still here? All right, is everybody still here? Woo! Judy. Yeah, I mean, thank you, Judy. I appreciate that about the course. Judy says the course is dope. Judy's been crushing it. You crushed it on it. I saw your site the other night. We went through it. It was super, super dope. All right. So, okay, some good questions here. Maxim asks, how would you do a sticky header with 2 sections like now? Okay, so with the sticky header, it depends. I mean, we could do the simple sticky header. I would try to keep the menu. I would try to do 2 things. One, I just want to make the first one, the desktop, easy to use and make that one sticky. And then for the mobile, if this was, let's say, didn't have so many drop downs, if it was just a regular menu, maybe with one set of drop downs, then I might just use Elementor's default, because for SEO and for the HTML markup, it is the best. When we start using slide outs and mega menus and things like that, it does make the SEO and markup really messy. It's not the best. But it's also, as long as the desktop is good, make that sticky. Then we can make another one just for mobile and make that like a pop-up, a slide out, and off canvas or something like that. You would just hide the mobile menu. Yeah, and then Dave said the Elementor global CSS selectors would be good to create design systems faster. I could not agree more. I have been using Bricks a lot. I've been using Bricks a lot. I'm building my site right now with Bricks. And the thing about it is the classes, it makes it so much more methodical, the way we're building it. Like right now, having the it's like, all right, we have the global colors and the global font styles, and you see how quick those make the process. Now imagine having that, but also for border radius, for gaps, for containers, for cards, for for all these different things, for your buttons, having that built in, and then it just builds that out. So I'm really excited that Elementor is rolling that out. That is one feature I am really looking forward to. When it does come out, you're going to see me doing a lot of work with it. Pentola, what is up? What's going on? Yeah, David says, I hope Elementor comes up with a great solution. The thing is, Elementor, they do things the Elementor way, and I like it. They do things very user-friendly. Like I've been digging in Bricks now. Like I haven't created much content on it because I really want to get to know it. And I'm not the type that bounces around. Like I only have a limited amount of time for things. I think it's good, though, to have, once you master something, to move on and build something else that, expands your toolbox. Elementor does things in a very user-friendly way, like the loop builder. The way the loop builder is done in there is just super straightforward and easy. Like you see it visually, you drop things in there. I really like that. And so seeing the way Elementor does it, I could imagine that they're going to do the global classes a very Elementor way. As long as it's not in beta forever, I'm good. I just want it to come out, be good, and start using it on production sites. All right, guys. All right. Should we keep going? It's kind of rolling a little bit later than I thought it would. I thought we would get a whole lot faster, quicker. Thing is, I have fun and I just start getting into it. Skating choreographer says, yes, we are here. Of course, we are here. All right, cool. I just want to skim through. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. Because I really want you to be able to ask anything during this whole process. You could even challenge me, like, "Hey, why are you doing this? What's the reason behind it?" That's the reason why we're doing this live. All right. All right, cool. I don't see any questions. If I do miss something, let me know. All right, you know what? Let's go ahead and take the next step. The next step is going to be fixing the structure. I think, though, for the sake of, I thought, okay, my plan was, this was my plan, was to complete everything for the homepage. I think we're going to need one more session for it. I think we're just going to need one more. But what I am going to make sure we do inside this section and we finish up is that we have the whole layout set. We might be able to finish it. Let's see how it goes. All right, so the next step is now we got our system there. We got our starting point going. Now let's go ahead and create the structure, because let me go ahead and do a screen share. Pull me over here to the corner. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna, might hear my aircon, but I don't want my camera to burn out. I'm gonna make it cold in here. All right, let me see here. I'm going to go back over to the main site. All right, we got to use Charlie's live site now, because I deleted everything inside the staging site, so we could have everything, just a clean slate. Now, if we look here at the structure, and I could see a lot of what is trying to be achieved, and I could see like we got these courses right here, scuba diving training courses. We got another structure right here, this section right here for trips, and these are really important. These are something the business is going to want traffic to funnel to. There's another section right here for the Similan Islands. I believe Charlie said this is okay. We don't have to really put it in here. We have something showing the boat, that's being used for the excursions and going out scuba diving. More content, and more content. So we got lots of content going on here. And a couple things we don't have. We don't really have like call to actions. We don't have trust. Well, check it out. Let's go ahead and take a look at this before we get into the structure building. Now, I do weekly workshops with the Lytbox Pro Academy. It's our private group that we have. We're always doing like workshops. This is one that I did before on, creating the structure for our websites right here. And I thought to pull this out because this could apply to any website right here. Like this workshop right here was actually meant for us web designers and web creatives to build a website for ourselves, but it's the same thing. And right here we can see the things that we need. Let me see if I could zoom, if that helps. No, they don't let me zoom. All right, so if we look over here, there are these 7 elements. I mean, first we need to make sure we have the banner with a clear message. So right away off the top, people need to look at the banner and know exactly what that site is for. We need to make sure the services are clear. We need to make sure people are able to go to exactly what they want and to know, does this website offer what they're looking for? The third one, this one is super important. This is trust and credibility. Now, this is something that is lacking on the site that we want to make sure that we give. And the thing is, for this brand, this business, they have trust and credibility. We just need to find a way to position it and to show it on the website. The next one, we want to do something that is about the client, but is more focused on their customers and the benefits they could give the customers. This is like a little bit of jinjitsu type of, we want to let you know about who we are, but we're going to do a little flip, but also turn it around and to make it about you. The next one is we do want to do something a little bit about like the brand, and we want to personalize it. And then we want to show some work. We want to show, like, for us, for designers, we want to show portfolios. But for, say, somebody like the Thailand divers, we want to show some like dive-in excursions. We want to show something about that. So we could show something in that way, and then a clear call to action. So we're going to make sure we get all those. Now, let me set something up. I got something right here. All right. Now, first off, when I am in this process, I start off with a notebook. All right. In fact, let me go back over here. All right, you guys got to see, because this is where I start off at. My process, every time I'm doing thinking, I'm doing strategy, wireframing, it always starts here. This is how my wireframes work. And in fact, if I don't need to go back and forth with a client, I don't need to build a fancy wireframe because this has everything that I need. The whole process of doing the wireframe and structuring is first to make sure that we have all those elements in there. But it's the thought process. How are we guiding the traffic? How are we displaying it? How are we positioning things? This right here is where the value comes. This is the huge part of a value right here. And this is when we get to a level and we have experience and we know how traffic drives to the site. We understand people's behavior. We know how to do research and to look at specific industries and to really like understand the user, practice empathy, and be very strategic on how we're laying out, guiding everything. That is where our value comes in. This is where us as web creators, we really need to charge for that kind of value. Because even though the website might look simple, it might look easy, it might look like, oh, that wasn't all complex, there's not all this stuff going on. It isn't simple and easy. It wasn't simple and easy to get to that point. Of course, if we're doing this for years, we got systems, we're going faster. For us, we make it easier for us, but that is only because we're able to put into it. And a huge part is going to be the positioning part. And that, I think that's the part where it's a challenge. For me, I find that is a part as a web creator, a challenge to position and to get clients to see and understand, especially when we're giving prices and we're trying to give the prices to match that value. Okay, rant over. If you guys have any thoughts about that, let me know. Drop it inside the comments. Real quick, Ruben does have a question right here before we dive in because I'm about to go in the zone. Has a question about the course and program. Okay, cool. Do you know what? I'll go ahead and just show really quick. All right, guys. Let me see here. Let me see. I got to do. Let me go back here to the stream. Uh-oh. Oh, my screen moved. Okay, I'm using Arc browser, by the way. All right, so really quick, just about the course and the program. All right, the course is going to be it's going to be designed. So like what we've been going through inside this, it's more thoughtfully broken down step by step to guide, giving all the tools needed, making all of it digestible. This whole thing was over 4 months of full-time planning work, everything that went into it. And we go step by step through the process of web design and understanding it. And the goal for this part of the course, and this in its own, it could be its own course. It's just web design and understanding it. It's understanding the theory, the logic, understanding systems, processes. And what it does too is it has been designed to help you build your own system and your own processes that you're going to be able to carry across. Now, the one thing that this has when you start off, there's an actual project brief attached to this. It's got a choose your own adventure theme to it. All right, it's got to choose your own adventure theme. And you're going to be following along. That way you're actually putting work in with the course, and everything you're doing, you're going to be able to use for future projects. The next part is going to be applying it to Elementor. And it's going to be using like containers. We're only going to use the updated stuff. And we're going to be looking like everything we've been going through, but we're going through it very carefully, very methodically, all the way to the layouts. Now, the next part right here, we're just wrapping it up and putting things together where, you have a framework, you have a system, and you understand how to use these. And then I do have more courses. More lessons coming out. We got one coming out on fluid typography next for Elementor. So the course, there's two different things here. We have the course, and this is do-it-yourself. All right, that's what it is. But check it out. Even though it is do-it-yourself, I just want to help. Here's the thing. I just want to help. The plan was to. Oops, sorry, Judy, don't want to show your business here. I just want to. I can't say no and not help, So if you do got a course, it's all here on our platform right here. So we can go to the course and you're going to be taking it here. Now, this is a Lytbox Pro platform. This is for our private community right here. And you could take the, you'll take the course right in here. But like if you run into any issues or anything, you can send me a direct message. You can connect with me right over here. Now, the program, let me skip back over here. The program, this is it for the program. I am only keeping it open until Friday. And I'm going to close it down for the next 6 months because the program takes a lot more one-on-one interactions. We're having weekly design sessions. We have expanded it. Like I'm trying to find ways to add more value and do more. We expanded the program into, instead of just looking at the course and going through your work on the course and what you've been doing on it, but also your client projects, your personal site. We're having these sessions every week. So we got these open sessions where we could have personal time. We could go through everything and walk through it because look, here's the thing. We're usually doing this all alone. Usually when we're working on a design for a client, let me end this share right here. Usually when we are designing for a client and designing for a project, we're usually doing this alone and we're trying to make it look good alone. And then we're getting just feedback and critique from a client, and my goal is to have a space for designers where we could have that feedback for each other and we could get that feedback before it even goes to the client. So that way it's just not just us and a non-designer, which most clients are not designers, and just find ways to not do this alone anymore. All right, cool. I know I fell off with that. Yeah, I'm not really the salesy type, even though I need to be more, I guess. I don't know. I want to geek out right now. Any other questions? All right, Elementor makes websites really slow. Why don't you build websites based on Gutenberg blocks? Here's the thing. I make Elementor sites fast. I can make them fast. I mean, yeah, the markup isn't as good. And 3 years ago, yeah, it was not good at all. With Elementor, if it's done right, if we use containers, if we're very thoughtful, and everything that I'm showing right now, all these different things, if we're not using inners and inners and inners and throwing spacers and doing all these bad practices, if we're using good practices, best practices, we can make them still fast. My sites are fast. I use really good hosting. Now, Gutenberg blocks are dope as well. I do want to learn them. I want to get into them. I got Generate Press for Black Friday, and I got Generate blocks. My intentions are to spend time and learn them, but then I started using bricks as well. And here's the thing for me. I believe in mastering one thing at a time. It's a philosophy I started my career with. 7 years ago, I did not know how to use a computer. Today, I'm running a company and I'm doing high-level stuff working with brands that are global. Like I was able to scale up really fast and to master things really quickly. But the only way I was able to master things was to stay laser focused. That was the one thing I was able to do my entire career, was to stay laser focused on one thing and get really good at it before jumping to the next. I would love to go to Gutenberg blocks. I would love to go to Generate. I really want to see what's happening there. I love seeing what like other people are doing with it. It's just right now I mastered Elementor, and the next thing I'm mastering is bricks. But also right now, the main thing I'm mastering is teaching. That's the main thing. That's my number one priority, is helping others out right now. But it's a good question, man. Really, really good question. I'm really glad you asked that. Yeah, David. Yeah, you know what? It's all about being well thought out. I could build an Elementor site, and it could be, it could be slow. We can make it super slow for sure. It's definitely a skill in its own, but definitely is legitimate. My thing is, whether you're going to like Generate Plus, Generate blocks, using Gutenberg blocks, pick one and master it and get really good. And like the whole point of this series that we're doing in these live streams are building and applying design systems. So right now, what we're doing with these design systems, that could be used across any platform. It doesn't matter. It's just the tool. All right, cool. So time is coming out. I'm going to give it 30 more minutes, guys. But what we're going to do in this 30 minutes, we're going to build the structure. We could do this actually kind of quick. All right, I am going to, I'm getting the hang of this thing. I finally figured out how to get this little head bubble here. All right, let's go back over here. Actually, huh. Okay, we got this open. You know what I'm going to do? Let's go over here. I got right here. I'm doing something different. All right. I got to get my iPad out. Let me move my desk around a little bit because usually I am doing this inside my notebook. But I found out recently that if I use the new Freeform app for Apple, that it happens like in real time across devices. It's crazy though. It's crazy though. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and create this. All right, first step, we want to create a banner. All right. I want to make this big and stand out because this is scuba diving inside Thailand. All right, stand out. All right, we're going to put a little bit of text. We're going to put a call to action. In fact, I'm going to put 2 call to actions because there are 2 main call to actions that we have. Remember, the call to actions were going to be the courses. And what was the other one? It was, let me get my keyboard back over here. And the other one was going to be the, the day course and then the day trips. Okay, so we got courses and day trips. These are the main ones right here. We want to make sure we link these here. My things are super messy, all right? It is super, super messy. First off, I want to hit you with some trust. All right, I want to hit some trust right here. Let's put in some trust. I'm either going to put in testimonial or I'm going to put in a badge. All right. Or a badge. And the badge, when I say a trust badge, that's like a certificate. It could be, like, let's say you guys got a good review on Google Reviews. It could be like, just an image of that. We want to go ahead and put some of that on there. Now, I could also put in some, I don't want to go too text heavy, not yet. We want to go into the services. You know what? We're going to put in some text and we're going to put in the blocks. And then followed by trust. I love to, especially when we got a brand like Thailand Divers that has so many good reviews, I want to make sure I am doing them justice by plugging them in everywhere. All right, trust, reviews. All right, we could do just one. Or we could do a carousel or something like that. Next one, let's go ahead and just some text, and we're going to do the day trips. All right. And all right, there's our, so what I'm going to do here for the services, this is where I'm going to talk to the client and I'm going to ask the client, what is the most important one? Like which one is most important for your business? Which one brings in the most customers and revenue? I'm going to put that one at the top. Most customers and money. So whatever that is, that goes on the top right there. All right, next up, let's first go over to our list. This really helps out having this around. We want to make sure we get everything. Okay, clear services are already there, trust and credibility. Now let's do something about the client. You know what? We need images. I'm going to put an image back here. And I'm going to put some text in there because I could already see like they have some really dope images of scuba diving. I saw their image drive and it is just a gold mine for dope graphics. There's so much that could be done right there. But I also don't want to make all this too big. You know what? I'm going to put maybe one more section. We're going to put abouts. And I'm going to put like a gallery. I don't want to put too many images because it could slow down the site, but I want to put something with people. Customers. Let's put something with customers and then something with Charlie as well. So we could probably put, something right here. And this is where we could even get a bit creative. Let me see. We do want another call to action. Let's go ahead and follow this up with a call to action. All right, I'll figure out what we're going to do on that one. What kind of call to action will we put? Let me see over here. What do we have on the original site? All right, they do have the FAQ. Now, since the client has an FAQ here already, I'm probably going to put an FAQ underneath. I'll put the FAQ, though, underneath the call to action. All right, and then the footer. Yeah, so our services are here. These are the primary call to actions. Same here, primary call to action. All right, and then let's say over here, this will be like somebody just needs help getting guidance around. So we're going to say, I could even put both buttons right there or a contact. I don't even really know if you know what? We're going to do a contact right here. Fallback. I'm going to call this a fallback CTA. And we're going to put contact because I do, being that I live out here in Thailand and this particular website, this brand is from Thailand. I know that it's really important that people want to call. They want to call on WhatsApp. They want to message. So we can maybe make this a little bit easier right here for people to contact. Oops. Oh, man, I wasn't sharing it. I was writing it. So sorry. Oh, my gosh. Okay. I totally finished the rest on my own. You guys are looking at Charlie's FAQ. Okay. So let me go here. Let me see. Can I make this smaller? Yeah, what I did here was primary call to action here, primary here. We're going to put the about gallery. We'll put some pictures of people having fun. That was something that I identified on the original site that was really needed. And then we want a fallback call to action right here. We're going to probably funnel them to the contact page. Maybe even right here. You know what? I am going to consider 2 buttons. I'm going to see if that fits right there, because even though we do have these right here for people to funnel, what they miss it. They miss it. I still want to take advantage and try to get that opportunity. So we are good to go right here. This is the structure. I am going to set this up right here, and we're going to get it started. All right. All right. You might hear me move away. I'm moving my mic around and stuff. Let me move my mic back. Now let's cancel that. I want to keep this in front of me so it helps me out to see when I am starting to build the site. Before we go, though, I am going to stop the screen share and get some sip of my tea. And let me see if there are any questions. All right. All right, no questions. All right. Cool. Let's just go ahead and keep rolling. I got to get in the zone now. This is the time I got to really get in the zone. All right, we're going to get here to the home page now. We got our layout. This is our layout. I'm not going to now, if I'm going to do this for a client, I'll do something more, more polished to walk through. But this, if I'm doing it on my own, I could work right off of this. The strategy part is done. And I did it quickly. And a lot of this stuff is repeated over and over. But that is because of constantly for years now doing this for clients, testing it, doing heat maps, optimizing, figuring out exactly what works best. That's how I'm able to go so quickly with it. All right. enough said. Let's go ahead and make a banner. First thing we want to do, let's go ahead and give this some padding. I'm going to give it 20. Banner is the only one where I really give it different types of padding. Now, you might be wondering why I'm doing padding instead of vertical height. Vertical height works sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't, especially when you're resizing the screen. I like to use set things. It just works for me. All right, go ahead and drop in text. I'm going to do more text. All right, I'm going to drop in all my elements. Let me go ahead and I'm going to drop in a third text. And then I'm going to drop in inner container. And then from here, I'm going to drop in a couple buttons. So I got to open this so I could go back and forth. Oh, snap. Okay, I got to go back to my brand page. So that way I could copy and paste things really quick. All right. Let me copy this. I'm going to drop 2 of these in here. Uh-oh. I wanted to copy the button. Paste that and then duplicate it. All right. I'm going to do 2 buttons. I'm going to try a double call to action because we have these 2 call to actions, the courses and the day trips. And I want to make that really easy for people to find. All right, let me go up here. I'm just going to take some things. Scuba, okay. This right here does not need to be big. This could be the H1. I'm going to change that to H1. Let me go ahead and give it a style. We'll change the colors around when I fix the background. Here's the thing, though, too. We want to avoid doing this. We don't want things to be in all caps because if Google picks this up and they do put it in the searches, it's going to be in all caps. It's just something we want to avoid. Hit. All right. OCD kicks in right now. You guys can see. All right, cool. We got that. Let's go ahead and give it the spacing. Next up, okay, right here, when I'm building on the side, I'm not going to even try to think of the content. Here, I'm going to write, I'm not going to do all caps. I'm going to write something big and stand out. All right, let me do that. All right, that'll be the H2. And then we could set this up. It's going to be this extra large. And then from right here, let's go ahead and do, I don't even want to do the AI. Let me see here, some lorem ipsum. All right, I'm going to make a short paragraph. I don't want a lot of content inside the banner because we don't want people to read a bunch of stuff. They don't need to. As long as this right here tells them exactly what they're doing and builds that connection, then it's you know, what we're trying to do has been achieved. Okay, body text. Let's go ahead and give the spacing. Padding bottom 20. And then right here, we're going to give padding bottom 40. Get that space. All right, cool. Next up, I'm going to go here and let's make this vertical. I'm going to just control my container. This is why I use containers. It's so easy doing this stuff now. God, I love it. All right, cool. I am going to, let's go ahead and make this one green. And again, what we're doing here on this home page, this is just, we're just starting it. All right, we're going to polish it up. This is where the most time is. And this is why we're going to need another live stream and another episode next week. All right, I want to show a few things, though. Here's a couple of my tricks. You could do this a couple ways. You can try to control the width, but it breaks the whole layout. I don't want to break the layout. I want to keep my system. So when I am controlling text, I'm controlling it with my width. I use custom and I use pixels. I do this all day long. I have full control over it. And I'm going to take this to, let me see, can I take it to 50? Yeah. I want to make sure it's rounded up. And then right here, I am going to do the same. And I'm going to take this to about 500 pixels. And what we want to avoid, all right, first off, it's hard for people to read a full length screen. If you see here, look how wide this text is. This is not easy to read. It's hard for the eye to track it this far, especially on a bigger screen. Same thing here. We don't want important content to be in all caps. So we're going to fix a lot of the typography, and I'm going to show you how to use best practices. Like this right here, this should be about, let me see, for the width. Like we could put this width at 500 pixels. Go. And having a little block like this is just a lot easier to read and take in, because when the user is going, they're scanning through. So we're going to do that right there. All right, now this is just the outline right here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a darker background. Let me change these colors around because I do want to put like some ocean stuff inside the background. I just want to make sure my layout is set up all right before we start going that far into it. All right, I'm actually going to make this one the darker one. And then here, let me go ahead and just drop in some images. I optimized a few of them before we started. Okay, drop those in. And then let me drop in more. God, there's so many good images inside Charlie's drive. This is a total jams going on here. I love these, man. These were super. Oh my God, that is dope. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Keep that full. Position center. No repeat. Display size, cover. Okay. Wow. This is looking cool already. Let me put a background overlay though. I want to give it a bit more of the blue. Okay, cool. Now from here, I could sit here and I could geek out over it. I could go more into detail, more into depth, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to keep the graphics and the content for the end. What I want to do is just create the structure and make sure everything is clean. One of the tricks, let me stop this screen share real quick. One of the tricks that I learned early on when I was learning design, and I had an awesome design mentor helping me out along the way, was that when you're looking at a design and something feels off and you're on it for like hours and hours and days and you're trying all these things out, but no matter what you're doing, the design just keeps feeling off. When the design feels off, just start to remove things from the design. Like that's a trick. You start removing images, you start removing graphics, you start removing stuff that you try to get really creative for. And usually once you remove enough, all of a sudden it looks clean, and then you kind of see where the problem was at. All right, any questions? Is people still here? I feel like I think it's been kind of long. It's been longer than what I expected. All right, so check it out. This is what we're doing. All right. Let me just go back here real quick. This has turned out to be a lot longer than I expected. I was aiming to wrap this up and have a fully designed homepage inside this stream, but I think it's going to take about another hour. We have all the parts ready. We can start adding stuff here. You know, we have our system defined. I can start adding in the trust badges, the testimonials, the services. We're going to do that, though, inside next week's live stream. We have everything set. The main thing is I want to show the process behind this. So I'm going to save it as it is right now. We're going to come back to this, and then we're going to take the next step and polish it off. Because I'm going to be straight up with you guys. It's like 10 o'clock here where I'm at, and I'm not that young designer that could stay up all night. I used to be able to do that. Can anybody else do that? Can anybody here stay up all night long? All right, cool. I want to make sure this is productive, full of value, and helpful, and something that people can follow along, even on the recordings. So with that, I am going to sign off right here. Plus, I don't see any comments. I think that's a good sign that okay, it might have been quite long. Anything before I bounce? Does anybody have any questions? All right. Another reason tea is needed. I don't know if you guys know this. When you talk for 2 hours straight, you start to feel it. Definitely need to have tea. All right. Okay. With that, I'm going to shut it down. I thank you all for being here, for watching it. We're going to have fun. Okay. Yeah, okay. Somebody finally. Okay. Andrew, thank you for sticking around. I really appreciated it. It's awesome. I'm really happy to see you here. And Charlie, thank you. Thank you for hanging on for this journey. Turned out to be a whole lot more than what was planned. Thought this was going to be like I thought it was going to be one episode, to be quite honest. I was planning on doing like, okay, this is what's wrong. This is what you need to do. But things just evolved and snowballed from there. And here's my thing. It's like, if I keep finding ways where, could add more value, help, and like show more, I'm just going to keep doing it. And there's a great opportunity over here. I'm glad to help out. And I'm thankful that you guys are all sticking around for it. So, Dave, done awesome, man. Awesome. I look forward to seeing your designs, man. I really want to connect with you more, for sure. All right, cool. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign out for the night, but we will be back again next week, the same time. I'm going to really try to keep it at 1 hour next week and wrap it up. We should get there, though. We're at the very end. We're getting to the fun part. Now, normally, when it's just me and I'm not talking and I'm just in my zone, I got either some lo-fi playing or I got some of my underground hip hop. That's what I listen to. I got some of that playing and I get in the zone and I could just start cranking it out. Plus the systems that I'm showing, I work those same systems over and over and over and over. So that way it becomes just like a second nature and I could just kind of fly with it. This has been a learning experience for me, being able to teach and guide it inside a live setting. I'm really grateful for it. All right. Thank you, everybody. You guys all have a good day or night, depending on where you're at. And see you guys next week. Cheers.